Hi guys, this is Manmohan Sekho and today we're gonna start our new series for programming. So for programming, we need to understand first what are program. Before program, we need to understand what language is. In English, if we say English is language, what does that mean? That means it is a way to communicate between among two people. If two person has to communicate with each other, they need to know some language that both of them should be knowing. The same way if we say computer language, with a computer, how do we communicate? How do we make computer to do some task? So for that, we need to have language that is known as programming language. So language is set of instruction that make anyone to do some task. The same way in computer, Java is a programming language, Java is a language, C, C++, and all these are language because they make computer to do some task. So if I ask you write down your name, if I have asked you write down your name, if a person name is Rahul, so what he'll do, he'll write down Rahul. If his name is Michael, so Mike, if name is Mike, he'll write down Mike. That means human mind is intelligent enough to know once he learned, he can do whatever he want. If you say write down the name, he'll write down the name. The same way to computer, to print something, we have to instruct computer to do that task. So to that task, we need to have some specific, like in our language, we have grammar. That grammar we have to use so that other person can understand. The same way in a computer, we have some syntax, we have some rule that we have to follow to make computer to run as we want. So in a computer, suppose for a computer, if I ask computer to print your name, if I ask computer to print name Mike, so in a computer to print, we have a command system.out.print. If I write down system.out.print, it won't print, but it has to follow some specific rule. So whenever we write down a program, the first thing that you have to write down, that is class. Everything should be in small class. Then you write down here class name. It can be any name. So if I write down first program, this one should be same as class. Whatever I have written, this should remain same. This one can be any name, like first program or whatever you want to write down. Then we have opening curly bracket. Always remember, the number of opening curly brackets should be equals to number of closing brackets. So it doesn't mean that we have opening bracket and we don't have closing bracket. It should always be same. Then after that, we write down public static void main, and here we write down string args. Okay, so public static void main string args. So this is main function. This should be always there. Main function should always be there. This is the starting point for any program. So in this program, what I was doing, I have to print name. So for printing in a Java programming, for printing, we have to use system.out.println, as should be capital. Okay, system.out.println, and here I write down name Mike, and then semicolon, and here we close. This is a main bracket that we closed, and after that we have closed class. If you see, we open main bracket later, but we close first main bracket, then we close the class bracket. So this is to print anyone name in a Java program. So then we compile this program, and then I'll show you on computer. Now suppose I want to add two numbers. If I say add two numbers, what you will do? You will add. If I say give me the answer, you won't give any answer. Why? Because you don't know number. So first I have to tell you some numbers that you have to add. If I say 2, add 2, then you need the second number, then only you can give answer. So I'll give 5. So then you'll think in your mind that 2, what I said, addition means plus. So what you'll do, 2 plus 5. If you say 2 plus 5, okay, you did calculation, that is 7. But if you won't tell me the answer, would I know? whether the answer is right or wrong. So what you have to do, you have to tell me the answer. So the same way here, if we have to add two numbers, first what you need to do, you need to have those two numbers, then only you can add. So for that, if I do int a equals to, I told you 5, and then second one b equals to 2, then we put semicolon. At end of any statement we have to put semicolon, because a is 5, b equals to 2, both are integer. That's why I have written in one line int. Or I can write down this one like this also, int a equals to 5 semicolon int b equals to 2, because a and b both are of type int. So for that reason I have written int a equals to 5, then comma, and then b equals to 2, and then semicolon. But if we are writing on separate line int a equals to 5, at end of each line you have to put semicolon. Semicolon means end of statement. So now we have two numbers. After having two numbers, we need to add those numbers. So to add those numbers, which number are those? B, 5 and 2. So 5 and 2 means a plus b, then we add. After adding these two numbers, I need to store the same way as I told you to add two numbers. You said 5 plus 2, and that you stored in your mind. The same way in computer, we need to have some variable where we can store. So if I say 5 plus 2, what will be the answer? Answer will be without point, that is integer. The same way here, so int c equals to a plus b. Now that I added those numbers, c equals to a plus b, now I know the answer. But I have to show that answer, I have to tell that answer, I have to print that answer. So for printing, what the line that we use, system dot out dot println, and if I write down c here, and then I'll put close main, and then this. So what will be the answer? The answer will be equals to 7, because in a system.out.println I have written c. But what I want answer, not only 7, I want to answer sum equals 7. I want this answer. So for that means 7 we got. If I'll write down only c, that means I got 7, but I want sum equal. So for that, what I can write down here in double quotes, I can write down sum equal, and here we write down double quotes, then plus c, and then I'll put semicolon. What I did, if you see here, whatever we write down in a double quotes, whatever it is, that will be printed as it is. If I written sum equal, that means it is printed sum equal. And then if I have written c in a double quotes, then it would have printed sum equals c. I don't want to print sum equals c. What I want to print, I want to print its value. Whenever we want to print its value, we don't write down that inside double quotes. We'll simply write down c. Then it will print sum equal plus c. Now you must be thinking, why we have to use plus over here? This is concatenation. Why can't we use another? We can do, if I don't want to write down here plus c, I can write down this way as well. And then system dot out dot print, and here we write down c, and then we'll not write down ln. Ln is to change the line. I have explained that in one of the tutorial, that the beginning tutorial, you can how to display, and that you can see why we are using print or print ln. Okay, so if I write down like this one, then also the answer will be sum equal 7. But how many times we have written? We have written system.out.println print 2 times. So instead of writing these two in separate line, this is string double quote, this is variable, that means that we have to print. So if we have to, I can't write down here sum equals c, that it will print sum equals c. What I want to write down, I want to sum equal, and here we write down plus c, that means it will print sum equals 7. So that is to add two numbers. Suppose I want to print multiply those two numbers. The only changes we'll multiply, use a sign, asterisk sign over here. C equals to a multiply b. What it will print? It will print sum equal 10. Do I want to even though it's multiplying, then also it's saying sum equal 10. But what I want to do, I want to print over here multiplication equals to 2 or product equals to 2. So for instead of writing sum equal, what I can write down here, product equal plus c, then it will change here, product equal 10. So this is to print multiplication. The earlier of the program was to print addition of two numbers. Now suppose I say you write a program to print area of triangle. So what is area of triangle? We know that formula for area of triangle. If you see here, area of triangle is half BH. So this is triangle. Okay. So for area of triangle is half BH. Half BH means base and height. So for that, what we need to do, we need to know the value of base and we need to know the value of height. If we know these two values, then we can calculate area of triangle. So for that, I can give any name I told you. Area of triangle. And here we write down public static void main. And here we write down string args. And first we need the value of b. What is the value of b? Any value, suppose 2. And suppose value of height is 5.2. If the value of height is 5.2, then we have to write down here double h equals to 5.2. But if you have to write down float, then you will write down float h equals to 5.2 f. Because for a float we have to specify here f. That's why we have written double h equals to 5.2. Now we need to know the area. Area, what is the formula of area? Half BH. But if you see in computer, we don't have this sign. We have sign backward slash. We have that sign. So instead of 1 divided by 2, what we can write down? 1.0 divided by 2. Why I have written 1.0? Why I haven't written 1 divided by 2? Because if I'll divide 1 divided by 2, when both the values are integer, then it will give quotient part. It will not give us remainder part. That means if I'll divide 1 divided by 2, 0 into 0, so this will give answer 0. We don't want answer 0. We want answer whatever is the correct answer in math. So that's why we have to write down 1.0 divided by 2. If we'll do that in that way, then we'll give the same answer as we get in math. Otherwise we'll get, if we 1 divided by 2 will give quotient part, that will be because both are, when both are integer, we'll give quotient part, and quotient is always 0. So a equals 1.0. we can't write down bh like this one. So for computer we have to instruct it line by line. We have to give it every step. If we say bh, if we say bh to anyone, they will understand bh means multiply b by h. But in computer we have to tell that we are multiplying, so we have to write down 1.0 divided by 2 into b into h. Okay. Now if you see integer and double, if we multiply point with integer value, and then our answer will always be in point. Even if you divide 1.0 divided by 2, then the answer will be 0.4. So for that we will write down here double, because we are storing in a will be of type double. So we calculated it. These one were we initialized. We haven't got a value from a user, we are just fixing those values. But if we have to get a value from a user, we have to use scanner or we have to use buffer. That I'll be explaining you in next tutorial. So here b we got h, then we calculated area, and last step we have to print system.out.println, and here we write down area of triangle equal, and where we have stored that area of triangle, we have stored area of triangle in a, so we can write down area of triangle equals to a and then close bracket, and this one is, so it will print whatever will be the answer, area of triangle equals to a. So this one was area of triangle. The same way we can calculate area of circle, area of whatever the formulas are there. We can put first get the value from a user, then we can use the formula and then print all those values. So in this series we'll be doing all the program. If you have any question, if you want to me to write down any program for you, I'll do that tutorial for you. Just leave it in a comment section below. And if you don't understand any of these process, if you want to know anything extra other than this one, you just leave it in a comment section below. I'll be ready to help you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.